Yeah, I mean, we just felt like, there were just some things we had to kind of get off our chest, and just making sure that the mentality of the team was the same. We were still taking the same approach, and knowing that there's a ton still left for us, a ton of football left, a lot still left to be accomplished. So kind of just reiterating those things really.
Who called it? Like, how do you guys decide when you're going to call one?
I mean, me and Trace just texted back and forth, and felt like we needed to have one and stake one, and kind of we made that happen.
Jason, over here. Was that feeling just a direct result of the fact that you had lost, or was there something about your process, with the team that led to those feelings that you and Trace both had?
Not just directly because of the fact that we lost. Yeah, that's why.
A quick follow-up. What's the difference you see on Michigan State's offense this year compared to the team you played a year ago?
You said what are the similarities?
Differences, primary differences.
Well, I think their O-line's really gelling right now. I mean, they're same kind of style football. They're running the football. You're very Michigan type. I would say they're very similar to the kind of Michigan offense. I think their quarterback right now is playing better. I think it's his first year starting, but he's having a good year. He's playing well. So he's definitely a guy we're gonna have to watch out for and make sure we're disguised and playing with a ton of personality so we can't peg us pre-snap. So.
Hey, Jason, over here. Obviously, after losing Ryan, James talked about how a lot of younger guys got in on the D-line. How did you think they played?
I think they played well. I mean, it's obviously tough. Anytime you lose, veteran guys or guys are out, even for a series or two, it's tough. But those guys prepare really well. They came in and they played hard, and then they did what we were asking them to do. I think just as a defense in general, we kind of just made too many mistakes, really mistakes that we don't normally make. Just kind of the disappointing part about it. But we're going to get better, and we've watched the film, we've made corrections, and it's time to move on to Michigan State, and that's kind of what we're doing right now.
Jason, Coach Franklin said that as a defense you guys have struggled with kind of those sudden momentum shifts this year and coming back out on the field after whether a turnover or whatever. Why do you think that is? Can you put your finger on it, and why do you think there's reason to believe that it'll kind of get corrected?
I mean, those situations are always tough, obviously, sudden change, whether it's an interception, a blocked kick, or just some type of turnover on downs, any type of unfortunate situation. A lot of times you're put in bad field position and you're asking to make a stand, but I mean, we got to make that stand. I mean, as simple as that. It's all really a mentality and a mindset. We just got to get on our heads and get the momentum right back. It's obviously tough, playing in an away stadium, having a sudden change, because then the crowd gets really involved and things like that, and that kind of increases that momentum shift, I'd say. But to us, it's about composure, really. It's composure, it's mentality. It's just staying on track and executing really, and at a crucial time. And we haven't been able to do that very well this season so far.
And as one of the leaders of this team, you mentioned the players-only meeting. How did your perception maybe change after the meeting about this group, what was said in there, compared to maybe when you walked into that meeting? Because you guys have quite a few leaders on this team.
Obviously, I didn't really expect anyone to have any type of head-down mentality or being down. I mean, that's just not who we are really as players. It's just not who this team is. So, not saying that mentality wasn't very surprising to me. I mean, I know the kind of kids that we have, the kind of guys we have in that locker room. But really, it was just to reiterate it and to kind of just make sure the mentality wasn't set, and anyone who was doubting that, making sure we're all pulling the rope in the same direction, which we are. So to me, it was really how little or little convincing it really took anyone to make sure we're all in the same direction, because we are. So I was very pleased knowing that.
Hi, Jason.
How you doing?
Good, how are you?
Good.
Franklin described the Lampkin Trophy as one of the most beautiful in college football. What's your opinion on it, and why do you think it's important for teams to have these type of trophies to play for?
I mean, I think it's cool kind of playing for a trophy, adding a little, something to the game that maybe a little more of an incentive to win. But for me, it's all about getting a dub. I could care less about the trophy. For me, it's about winning. That's what I care about, if you want to be completely honest. But yeah, it's about a win. We want the trophy to stay here. That's how we want it to be. So, I mean, it's really as simple as that. It's about winning. So that's what we're going to get done.
Hey, Jason. How you doing?
Very good. How are you?
Yeah, talk about being on the road 2 weeks in a row and just what you guys are doing to prepare for that and the challenges you guys have coming up.
Obviously, being on the road, you want to prepare for crowd noise, those kinds of things. But I mean, the approach isn't really much different. I mean, it doesn't really matter where we play. Obviously, playing in Beaver Stadiums is quite special, and is quite the advantage, for us. But in terms of preparation, the way we approach games and stuff like that, whether we're playing home or away, it doesn't change. It's really all about execution. Doing our job, knowing our opponents, executing. I mean, that's really what it's about. So, although it's places like playing in the big house or playing away or whatever, and you're preparing for crowd noise and things like that. Besides that, there's not really much of a difference.
Hi, Jason. How are you?
I'm good. You?
Good, thank you. So you talked a lot about keeping that mentality, especially after a loss like you guys faced. I just want to know, from your experience and being on this team for quite some time, what's the biggest learning lesson that you've had to keep a team from not losing confidence after a game like that?
I think the best thing about this team is we're very aware of what we're capable of as a team. We're very aware of our potential and how good we can be. I think that's the reason why we're not really losing any confidence. I think it's more of feeling as though we just didn't play our best ball. It's more disappointing really than anything. But I wouldn't say any confidence has gone anywhere or anything like that. I mean, we're very, very aware of just how dangerous and how good of a team that we are. So in terms of confidence, I don't think anything's really changed after that loss.
Hey Jason, how you doing?
I'm good, you?
I'm all right. When we've seen over the course of this year, there's been moments when you've known what's coming, or you've got a pretty good idea what the offense is going to run against you, and you guys kind of check into that counter. As a defensive player, when you know what's coming next, or have got a pretty good idea of what's coming next, what's different about that in terms of how that plays out for you as a defender versus maybe when you're left guessing a little bit?
Yeah, I mean, then you can anticipate. I think when you're playing defense and you're able to anticipate what's coming, I think that's when big plays happen. That's when you jump a route and you get a pick, or you knew how the offensive line was going to set, so you're able to beat them around for a sack. I mean, when you study your opponents really well and you get a hang of what formations and what tendencies they have, where when you're on the field and you're starting to see those formations, those tendencies, and you start to jump on them, I think that's when big plays happen, big negative yards plays, interceptions, sacks, TFLs. Those type of plays happen, I think, when you start to play anticipatory defense. So it's important. And that's really where film study comes in and things like that, because that's when you're able to recognize those things.
Guess it's me. Jason, when you kind of look at Kevin Givens, you guys can deploy him in a bunch of different ways. What's maybe the most freakish thing you've seen Kevin do? Because I think his weight room numbers are pretty crazy from what I remember.
Yeah. I mean, he's a super. I mean, he's probably one of the strongest guys on the team, pound for pound. I mean, he's very freakish in the weight room and on the field. I mean, to me, it's his leverage. He's very. If I really had to compare him to a player, I'd probably say kind of like a Aaron Donald. I mean, he just plays with leverage, low, he's strong, he's twitchy, he comes off the ball. He just drives people back, and that's why he lives in the backfield. And he's always in the backfield, creating a new line of scrimmage. That's why he's kind of so effective, both inside and outside. But in terms of freakish, I mean, we use him a lot, in our loops, and he's just very good at bending the corner and getting around, getting his hips back square towards the quarterback. He's very, very good at that.